one I don't like here, but
Quiet
I'm
down,
not like
please.
handicapped. Like I don't have a license or something.
Well, everybody, it's my pleasure to introduce the next speaker. Brian Baker and I are members of Central Florida Real Estate Investors Association. I met Brian a number of years ago. Quiet down, please. And I saw what Brian was doing. He had created a system and a business based around generating leads for real estate investors, generating property leads. And he was so successful at it that I had him speak at I run a small chapter, a small subgroup of CFRI. So he came over to our county meeting, and the presentation went so well, but it made me also think. Made me think as to if you're generating these kinds of leads for actual properties and for actual investor leads, what could you do for generating leads for organizations or memberships? Because at the time I was struggling with my newly formed REIA out in Las Vegas, so I was looking for a unique way to generate new people to populate our meeting. And so Brian and I had a conversation, and it had turned out to be extremely wonderful. I'll let him tell you about it and how to do it. So without further ado, let's give a big round of applause for Brian Baker.
Hello? All right. Who's having a great day so far? Yeah. I am Brian Baker, and I am very grateful to be here with you all today. Who's ready to take notes? You guys ready to take notes? Yep. Some of you, hopefully. You're going to learn a lot, so you're going to want to have your notepad out, okay? I want this to be very interactive. I want this to be fun and energetic. So please ask questions as they arise. I'll try to do my best to stay out of the way of that. All right, so say yes if you're ready to attract more new members more often.
Yes.
All right, today you're going to learn how to win the marketing game. I want you each to focus on success, okay? Together, we're going to open doors. Oops. We're going to open doors. We're going to open doors, grab attention, keep score, and win daily. As soon as I can show you the slide. There you go.
It was working when I went.
Technical pause right now. What's going on? Oh, there we go. Great. Okay. Back to the slide. All right. We're going to open doors, grab attention, keep score, and win daily. Are you with me?
Yes.
You still with me? Good. All right. Hopefully I didn't lose you. All right. So let's begin. So first I want to make sure that everyone here understands that marketing really has two needs to fulfill. Okay? One for your business and one for your clients. Now, your REIA needs revenue to continue, and your new members are, well, they have a problem, and they need a positive solution in their lives so they can change and move forward. Now, you can't solve every problem out there. Unfortunately, your new members, the ones you're trying to attract, they don't want you to. They only want you to solve their problem. So marketing really comes down to the type of leads and deals and prospects that make sense for you. Okay? I am the Vice President of CFRI, and our ideal prospects are middle to high-income earners with a strong desire for financial freedom. Okay, our ideal members are between the ages of 30 to 60 years old. They're white collar, they're family-oriented, and they're in need of a positive change in their lives right now. Okay, when you can tell other people exactly what you're looking for and you can advertise what you want, you're more likely to get it, right? So is there anybody here who wants to tell us about their REIA, what they're looking for? It's a chance to practice your advertising. Again, I want this to be interactive. Okay. What kind of members are you looking for?
Exactly what you described.
Okay, and we just talked about what the buyer personas, the member personas, and that sort of thing. What kind of members are you looking for in the back? Anybody?
Hey.
Hey,
One's that money.
ones that pay the bills.
Ones that want to take action.
What kind of members do you generally get at your REIAs? Do you get the whole gamut of individuals? Do you get old folks? Do you get young folks? Do you get a good spread? Right?
Newbies.
Newbies? A lot of newbies coming to your REIA?
Newbies of all ages.
Okay. We get a lot of retirees maybe looking to invest their money. Right. You got to think about the different types of members you have coming to your REIA and the specific attract them. Because if you don't know what you're going to advertise for, then how can you get them? Yes? Contractors. Yeah, definitely. At CFRI, we get a lot of contractors as well. Sure. Well, our contractors also come to learn how to invest themselves because they see the investors doing it and they want to get in on the game, right? So they're in it as well. There is an apartment boom in our area. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, don't worry about taking photographs. I do have a link for you guys to download this presentation afterwards. And actually, there's a postcard that has a link on it as well. So when you do this business as a game, what do you need to win it? You know, what is your main goal? Why do you want it? Okay. When you know your why, you're more likely to take the necessary actions to get it, to make it happen, right? So at CFRI, we want to have at least $250,000 in the bank at all times, plus $30,000 a month in reliable income. Why? Because we've survived the bad times as an organization, and we never ever want to feel them again. Does this sound familiar to you? Can you relate to that? Raise one finger if you can relate to that, please. All right. This finger represents your REIA's one must-have goal. Okay. You have to know how much each member is worth to you, especially in terms of dollars, and why you want them in your organization. You have to have a good reason for what you're doing. And when you can passionately tell other people your why, you're going to inspire them to help you achieve it. You're going to inspire them to help you get it. So we're all like-minded folks here. Is there anybody here who would like to share their why with us?
I can tell you
Please.
what we talked about at the time.
Sure.
It's not just the, you're for profit, having profit is important, and as a nonprofit, you need it as well, to keep doors open. But to keep, the reason to keep the doors open is to income is twofold. One is, we also talked about the fear of maybe creating competition, but in some ways it's just the opposite of that. The more people in a community are familiar with the strategy and they've heard somebody else talking about it, then the retail buyer or other investors get more comfortable with that strategy as well. So you can have more people feel familiar with the strategy and participating in it, and actually creates more business overall. And so the group that teaches that can actually grow the opportunity in whole, right? So that's one reason we want your business to grow. The second thing we want your, as an investor, not just an owner or a member, would be because it's a full field flow, right? So you either need dollars or yield. One of those two things makes the business go. So your REIA group helps bring one of those two things, dollars or yield. So keeping those doors open, and then resources, right? So that's where you get your vendors come in, that's where you find people to help support your business that way. So it's not just a selfish reason, even if you are a for-profit or whatever, or to be on the board to keep that thing going. It's not just to take cash, it's actually to create a bigger business opportunity overall.
Yes.
Because of what you're creating in that.
And you have to be specific with why you want this, right? You have to specifically know. Rebecca knows very well what she wants. She's been doing this for a long time. Each of the REIA owners here should know exactly why they're in this business. And if you don't know why you're doing it, how are you going to make it happen, right? Makes sense. All right. So we're all real estate investors here, right? Okay. So let me tell you a little bit more about my background in marketing for properties to help you guys better understand the value of online ads for your REIA. All right. I started out my investing like most new investors, and I listened to the gurus. And they told me to do list targeted repeat direct mailers, which I did for about 8 months. And I got calls, but I got nothing serious, got no deals. I then tried bandit signs for 2 months, and I got really good at placing them in high traffic intersections, Walmarts, up high on poles, down low on the ground. I got really good at hiring people to place them for me, and yet I got nothing serious. I tried all these traditional methods you see here, and pretty much 97% of the responses I got were a complete waste of time. Okay? Does this sound familiar to any of you? And what's happening with REIAs these days? I mean, we're handing out business cards one by one, putting ads in papers, putting signs on streets. I mean, who actually reads paper anymore, right? Hardly anybody. This is me, enthusiastically starting out as a new investor, thinking, man, every piece of mail I send out is going to come back to me as money in my pocket. That's what I was told, right? And then I began to realize that other businesses were sending me the same type of mail, and I didn't like it. I was getting all these answers to questions I hadn't even asked at the time for, such as, did I want insurance for a newborn? Did I want a hot tub? Did I want to test drive a vehicle down at the dealership? And I got a lot of them. Who's this all the time. Who sees ads for the REIAs all the time? I do. Okay. So then I sat down and I actually looked at the math at this point. So for an average marketing campaign, a 3 to 5% response rate is pretty typical, okay, on average. Meaning 50 out of every 1,000 people that see your ad, a mailer for instance, is going to call you back. For an investor, that means they're going to give you a phone call usually, right? It's going to be like, what's my house worth? Why don't you remember my address right now? Or stop calling me. For a REIA, it might be something like, what's in it for me? Or what can I get for free? Right? So of the people that actually respond to your ads, 10%, or people that respond to your advertisements, 10% are going to request more information from you. That's 5 out of 1,000 that are going to actually ask you what your solution is for them. To an investor, that means they're going to request an offer. To a REIA, that means they're going to request a meeting time and location, right? Now, just because you sent them an offer or they come to your meeting doesn't mean they're going to join. So pretty much on average, statistically, 20% of offers sent are accepted. 20% of guests that go into a REIA meeting are going to join. So you pretty much have to send out 1,000 mailers, for instance, 1,000 ads to get one solid new member. Are you following me? Raise your right pinky if you're following me. I want to make sure you're awake. Right pinkies. Fantastic. Okay. Alright, so for an investor who's doing mailers, that's like, what, 15 hours of prep time, $1,400 worth of signing, stamping, printing, stuffing, paper cuts, sticky fingers? Yeah, right? And then there's the other 49 respondents who didn't do business with you that end up taking at least 10 minutes of your time each on average, which is an additional 8 hours of wasted time. So we're looking at 23 hours total time, $1,400 to get a single closed transaction. And as I realized these numbers for my investing and for all the hard work that I put into it, and for my REIA, I said, you know what, there has got to be a better way. I don't like doing this much work. And that's when it hit me. When I seek answers or products or distractions, I go online. I have a question, I get an answer. I want a product, I buy it. I want networking and educational opportunities, I find it. And I said, wait a sec, I'm just like everybody else. Everybody searches online. Even the poorest people now have government-subsidized smartphones, and they search online too. So I thought about it some more. It's true, I've seen them. Like, there's guys on the streets in Las Vegas, they're homeless, and they have a smartphone. And I'm like, what are you doing with a smartphone? I don't get it. So I thought about it some more. And what I figured out is that what we really search for online is based on our emotional needs in that moment. Okay? It's our emotional impulse. So I want to do a little test. I want you to raise your hands if when you want to find something, the first thing you do is look in your mailbox. No? Well, how about get in your car and look for a road sign? No hands. Stack of business cards? Newspaper? TV? Radio? Okay, raise your hands if when you want to find something, the first thing you do is look online. Precisely. Everybody makes decisions based on their emotions, and then they go back up with the logic they find online. You need to advertise online. So here's how it works. You go to Google and you type in a search. Information pops up. Guess what's at the top? Ads. Ads that respond to emotional needs. Okay, these are called pay-per-click ads. Meaning the advertiser does not pay until somebody clicks on their ad and goes through to their website. No money is paid until somebody clicks on the ad. Meaning each of these ads you see here can show for free 1 million times before somebody clicks on them. 1 million times. So, if an advertiser, such as a REIA or a national speaker or yourself, is only paying when the ad is clicked, how does the math look? Well, it turns out that if you use the same rates that I quoted before, that 5% down to 10%, down to 20%, and your cost per click as an investor is maybe $10 per click, you're looking at about $500 per deal, much cheaper than a wholesaler. If you're a REIA, you're paying about $350 per click, you're looking at about $35 for a guest or $175 for a solid member. Okay, now compare that to the $1,400 we talked about before, and you see you're getting much more time to return with online ads than you are with traditional methods. In addition to getting more of the right kind of leads that you really want for your REIA, because you're targeting them. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any questions so far? I want this to be very interactive, so shout out questions anytime. You got an expert in front of you, tell me. Yes, sir. After the 5%, 10%, 20%, you put them through the funnel. You end up with about $175 per new member at a cost per click of $350. And I'll go over this a little bit more in detail in the future. But yeah, does that make sense? Okay.
I know that in the car business, we were very interested
guests when they come through the door. So you're offsetting this guest cost right here, right? We're charging $20 per meeting for the main meeting. Well, now it's down to $15 per guest, right? And which also reduces this cost per new member. Okay, it's a funnel that you're putting these people through. Does that make sense? Yes. Yes, sir.
Brian, for this example right here, your $3.50 per click, is that just an average that you're using in your area?
That's an average that I'm using based on some research that we've done with other areas. Yep. It's not going to be the same for all areas. All areas have different cost per click depending on supply and demand, depending on how many competitors you have online. Yes, sir.
What was the target for that to, Clinton County, Illinois, in bar within 25 miles of a city? Is that possible?
Yeah, and I'll show you that in just a moment. Definitely. All right, you guys ready for more? All right. All right, so now that your doors are open, what do you have to do to grab attention? What do you have to do to get new members? Okay, we're going to talk about that in just a minute. First, imagine your REIA having a website like one of these. Slick, beautiful graphics, easy to understand, clean, simple to use. Who likes these kind of websites? Say, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Good, good. Yeah, if you actually go to 10millileads.com, you'll see a video scrolling in the background. If you go to Skype, you'll see the same thing. Same thing with Evernote. Beautiful graphics, they're moving, they're fluid. This is 2016, people, right? We have modern websites these days. All right, put in the effort or put in the money to create a beautiful website for your REIA if you don't have one already. Okay. You want to make sure that each of your images is crisp and vibrant. You want to make sure that all the text on your site is concise and effective. All right, while I'm up here, who here does not already have a website for their REIA? Anybody? Raise your hands. Perfect. You all have a website. I was hoping you would. All right. Now you'd be surprised. I go to some meetings where half the room doesn't have a website. It's like, okay, guys, we need to talk about this. All right. So just remember, Google owns the keys in this business. All right. And if you're going to beat the game, you got to learn to play by their rules. Google is a business after all, and they can decide what to show in their space. They can decide not to show your website if they choose. All right. Every website's got to have the basic information according to Google. You have to have home, about, contact pages, information. You have to be mobile ready. Does everybody hear what mobile ready means? Okay, who here does not know what mobile ready means? Change the question. All right, mobile ready means that your website has to be able to conform to a mobile device, like a smartphone or a tablet. It's got to be able to switch when you go to a different device. April 25th of last year, Google made a major change that said, hey, all sites must now be mobile ready, or we're not going to show them in the search page anymore. There was a wholesaler buddy of mine at CFRI who was getting 100% of his wholesaling traffic online. April 26th, he didn't pay attention. He lost 90% of his traffic overnight because he didn't follow policy updates. Okay. So make sure you keep up with these rules. It's very important. All right, remember this slide. Easy to remember domain name, 10millileads.com. Easy to understand offer, easy to find button to take action now. Contact us about websites, all that. This is the kind of format you want people to follow. You want them to come in, see exactly what you want them to see, give them some sort of value-oriented description, then have a button for them to take action on. Is this making sense so far?
Yep.
All right. So now we're going to grab their attention. We're going to use Google AdWords. That's adwords.google.com. It's Google's free platform for advertisers. Who here is not familiar with Google AdWords? Raise your hands. Awesome. I was told there was a wide gamut of people here, from basic technology to advanced technology. So again, if you have questions for me, ask. Google has the following structure, which I often like to compare to going out to dinner. Then you have your type of restaurant, you have your menu of selections, and then you have your carbs and your proteins. Okay? A campaign encompasses all the ads for a specific type of business or a particular event that you're holding, much like a restaurant serves a particular type of food. Now, if you're trying to attract realtors and investors, you want to have a separate campaign for realtors and a separate campaign for investors. You want to keep them separate. If you're doing a REIA-specific event, you want to have a campaign focused on attracting people who are interested in that strategy, their real estate strategy. Okay. Now, like a restaurant, they only serve food to people looking for them in a certain geographic region. Well, same thing with campaigns. You only want to serve your ads in a certain geographic region as well. Kind of like you see here highlighted. I've highlighted all these regions for these ads to show in this example campaign. These can be adjusted from the national level all the way down to the city level. That's back to George's question. You can choose the regions that you want with a pretty good good fidelity. You can get in there and choose exactly where you want to show your ads. Now the key is that you want to have a region that's large enough to encompass the population, to encompass a large enough population to meet your membership goals. At 10 million leads, we estimate there's probably 1 in every 2,500 people who are motivated to become a real estate investor at any given time, even if only temporarily. Okay? So you want to make sure that your region is large enough to capture that population in order to get the kind of numbers that you want. From our research, 2,500, just from the research we've done. You choose a smaller area, you get a smaller number of people filtering through the funnel. For me. Yeah. All right. Inside each campaign, you can have multiple ad groups, kind of like a menu has multiple selections on the menu. And each ad group can be set up to serve a different need of your client. Okay, so if you're trying to attract investors, for instance, you want to have an ad group that is specific to flipping houses for cash, and then another ad group that is specific to people who want to buy and hold for landlording. Now remember what we're doing here. We're creating ads that speak to people's emotional needs. Okay, they're going to come into Google, they're going to type in a keyword, and Google's going to return solutions to them in the form of web pages. Text ads are going to be at the top. It's the keyword that triggers which ads Google shows. Raise your left pinky if I'm making sense so far. I got 80% left pinkies. Okay. Okay, so we're still awake for the most part. So keywords are like the carbs on the dinner plate. Okay, they're the emotional energy used to show your ad. You want to think about your ideal client. You want to put yourself into their motivated shoes. Your new member. What are they going to search on Google? What are they looking for? You might want to write this down. Action-oriented prospects type action-oriented keywords. Why? Because they're motivated to find a solution. They have a problem that they need to find a solution to now. At 10 million leads, actually, we use a large collection of about 3,000 keywords. We have a large collection of about 3,000 keywords. We use a smaller subset of about 50 that we rotate on a weekly basis, depending on where the market's going. You got to keep up with changes in the market. So as keywords are the carbs on the dinner plate, the text ads are like the protein. They give your business strength to capture your client's attention and reel it into your website. Text ads need to be short and effective. Make every line count, especially your headline. Okay, you might want to write this down. Your text ad's headline is your new member's first impression of your REIA. It's what they're looking for. It's their solution. Are you their solution? Okay, you might want to think of it this way. You're driving down the highway, and you're surrounded by Camrys, Corollas, Civics, etc. And all of a sudden, a bright green Lamborghini speeds right by. What do? If you look at it, you can't help it. It grabs your attention, right? And that's what we want to do. We want to upgrade our ads from Civics to Lamborghinis. We want them to stand out. Right? Right. Okay. So again, your ideal client comes into Google, they type in a keyword. Google uses that keyword to trigger which ads they're going to show. Do I have any questions so far? You guys totally get it. You sure? Yes.
Do you have some examples of like those action-oriented headlines that you would put there for REIAs?
Action-oriented headlines for REIAs? What do you think it could be? I'm going to shoot it back to you. What kind of person are you advertising for?
Somebody who's going to take action to come to a meeting. So
What are they coming to the meeting for? To flip for cash? To landlord? To hold notes?
the phrase that they all say when they come to the door of my meeting is, "I'm looking for financial freedom." Whatever that means, that they'll say
Sure.
that word.
You know, I go to work for money, right? But, you know, what are they actually looking for? Which table do they gravitate to? Do they go right up to the hard money lenders? Do they go to the private money lenders? You know, are they looking for the national speaker that knows how to flip houses for cash because they need financial freedom?
I would say it's probably education and direction is what they're looking the most for.
Okay, so you can have an ad that's geared towards coaching them, if you have coaches, right? So you can do, yes?
So let me ask this question. We were talking about yesterday, I think this day, about what topic at a meeting draws the most people into it. What meeting do you have? What topic has the most attendees? Would that be a way to evaluate what would be a good keyword? So,
Well, it's definitely a good place to start.
like, what's your highest attention meeting? Wholesale? It says wholesale. So how do we, so would that be a good place to start is, are you?
Well, so you want to start with an ad that's geared towards wholesaling. You want to pick keywords that are geared towards people who are interested in wholesaling properties, flipping them fast for cash, or getting under contract, a signable contract, whatever it might be. And then you want to create an ad that's based on those keywords, that is action oriented, that is going to bring people to your REIA. Off the top of my head, come learn how to wholesale from the best. REIA, whatever. Learn how to wholesale today from experts in your area. Top REIA, something like that. Make it stand out. Suggestions, comments? No, I'm saying that you want to create ads that are geared towards people, specific types of people who have specific emotional needs in mind. And then you want to drive them perhaps to your homepage where you again talk about those same needs and address their needs with solutions. We have wholesalers here. We have some of the best wholesalers in the country. We have top wholesalers that can teach you how to do wholesaling yourself. We have top educators. You want to give them the solutions that they're looking for. Does that make sense?
So by what you're saying in the examples you've been giving is if you're talking about a wholesaler, what does a wholesaler, this is very elementary, but what do they want to eat? What all items do they have to do their job? And that would be the key words along that sense.
A good place to find properties if you're looking for wholesalers. Maybe you're on the other end of the spectrum and you're looking for wholesalers to buy from. We have some top wholesalers in the local area. We have properties that they're selling all the time. Come find new properties. Interested in investing? Get a turnkey property from a wholesale investor. Get a new rehab. You can start gearing your advertisements towards exactly what you think your membership is looking for. Yes. Yeah. You want to know what your audience is needing, what they want. Chris, did you have a comment?
I was just going to say that what we did, we created an avatar attendee to our REIA, and then we intermingled that with different topics. So wholesaling, rehab, when you're looking at rehab, you typically look for distressed properties, foreclosure, use those keywords. We take the avatar seller, or not the avatar seller, the avatar member that we're looking for, and then depending on the topic, we would advertise depending on the speaker and the topic for the month. It's worked really well.
Yes.
Sometimes when the big speakers come to town, like Van Merrill or Armando or whoever, they spend a huge amount of time on Facebook, other media, and radio and TV.
Google Ads, Facebook.
So we as a buyer, some of them will be wise to that, piggyback on it. Use the subject line and say, hey, here is a local league.
Yeah. There's ways to get keywords. There's ways to put wildcard, you guys understand what wildcards are, like a text format, right? Like an asterisk in Word and put wildcard in there. Well, you can do the same thing with keywords. You can have it insert wildcards based on what the people have typed in. You can actually have that inserted into the ad so that it responds to exactly what they just typed. It reflects their language. You want to resonate with how they're speaking. Does that make sense?
So let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Based on what mine is, how cost effective, because I know back in the day, to get your space, it costs more and, I don't know if that's true. But so let's say somebody's coming in and talk about rehab, right, so there's those phrases. Could you piggyback on that and say local experts in rehab, and there's a little description about how this is local and what we know your market.
We can't see it.
But is there going to be a cost? Because that would jack up your.
Can't hear.
Can't hear.
Right. She's asking if you're competing with the national speakers who are coming to town, if your cost per click is going to get higher because of the competition. Absolutely, your cost per click will go up. It depends on how much money they put into it. But there are ways to get around that. You can have one of your keywords could be Fan Barrel. People who are looking for Fan Barrel, they come to your ad instead of seeing it. You can piggyback on them that way. You can't use trademark names or trademark words in your advertising because that's against Google policy. So, but you can't do a We Buy Ugly Houses, but you can do a We Buy Ugly
Obviously, $12,000 later it didn't, but the point is that when we were at the radio station, we were actually really friendly with one of the producers there, and they actually brought us a sheet and showed us Dan Merrill and how much he's charging for radio ads, just radio alone. So to give you a perspective on what they're spending on online, Google ads and everything else, from January to maybe like June or July, $185,000 on radio alone just for our area. Now obviously our area is Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach is a big area for them. They come back and rotate, maybe more than other areas, but just to kind of give you guys a perspective of what you're up against.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing with traditional methods of advertising like radio, that money is spent. That's everybody who sees that ad, that money is absolutely spent. With an online ad, you're only paying for people who are interested in following the ad. So there's a big difference in how much money is actually being used to get those people into your website.
These national gurus, these national gurus will actually send people from those seminars back to you, to the local REITs. But it's after they've run them out. You know how you have to fill out the investor profile, how many credit cards you have, what the balance is, your bank account? Well, their back room knows how much to tap those potential investors for. And they know when they're tapped out. That's when they advise them. And make sure you go to the local REITs. So they show up and they say, hey, I'm here to buy apartments for residuals. I want to do some flips for chunks. And that's kind of a key word where I know they've been working with groups. So they'll send them to you, but it's too many things. You might as well dovetail or piggyback on the advertising.
I actually went through the Rich Dad program before I joined CFRI. Spent $25,000, got nothing. Okay, went to CFRI, spent $150, got everything. Okay, plus deals. Okay, so I definitely know the value of.
That's a good ad, right?
That's going on right there. And I tell people all the time.
Okay, right, that's the ad.
Put my name on it. Yeah. Exactly. All right. Any other comments here? All right. So make sure you follow Google's rules when you never let your REIA take off online. All right. So based on what you see here, and we kind of briefly touched on this, could I run a theoretical ad for your REIA saying that you sell soda for $1 a can? Sure. Can I run an ad for you that says you sell Coke for $1 a can? No. Because it's trademark, right? Same thing with We Buy Ugly Houses. Can't run an ad as an investor because it's trademark. And while we're on this PowerPoint here, I can tell you when you violate Google's policies, they do send you a nasty gram. I have gotten 12 nasty grams so far over the last 4 years as such, so I know what not to do. I've also had a black mark on my record. I do keep track of who's not following policy. If you get enough of these, then you're blacklisted. This is actually an email that came to there's several, like 12, like I said, that comes to your account when you violate policy saying, hey, you better clean up your act now, or we're going to shut your entire account down and not let you back on. And they mean it, okay? Because I've heard of this happen to people, and then you have to go through an appeal process. So as soon as I got this ad, I had to call them. Google actually has a phone number. I've talked with Google. I've probably spent 80 hours on the phone with Google so far. Yeah. And they're very compartmentalized. They have different departments that don't know what the other's doing. I think they do it on purpose. The department that you talk to for this, hey, what can I do? How can I fix this up? Please tell me how I can please you, right? Because they're effectively letting you do your business, right? If you don't please Google, you are shut down. This is serious stuff. It's no joke. So make sure you're following their policies. All right. So what is the major difference between the way people use Facebook versus Google? Anybody? Yes.
Facebook will share.
Right.
Share. Google will use the information. Facebook slow. Using stuff.
Yeah. People go to Google with the intent to find something, right? So we can market to them based on their emotional intent. Okay? People go to Facebook to explore their interests, to share their interests. And Facebook tracks everything you take interest in. So there's many ways that we can use that to our advantage. Okay? With the Facebook ads platform, which by the way has a structure very similar to AdWords. Alright, except that instead of advertising on keywords, we're now advertising to people based on their demographics and personal interests. Alright? Facebook ads are very image rich. At least 80% of the ad has to be image. And Facebook offers a variety of ad templates, many of which are useful to REIAs. Typically means we're routinely boosting posts and promoting pages for our clients. Again, it always comes down to knowing exactly what you want, right? So what happens in the case where maybe a person comes to your website whose motivation to join is perhaps a 6 out of 10, maybe it's not as high as it could be. We're going to have to give them more touches to get them more interested, more engaged in what you offer, right? And that's the strategy we like best with Facebook actually, is that with Facebook ads, we can continue to advertise your website or your video to them even after they've left your page. Okay, that's called retargeting. Does everybody know who does not know what retargeting is? Raise your hand. Okay. So when we retarget somebody, do you see this with Amazon all the time? You go there and look at the product, and then they follow you to subsequent websites that you go to, continuing to show you that product, saying, hey, come back to Amazon. Airbnb does it, Flipkey does it a lot too. If you ever go to Flipkey for vacation rental, they will follow you for several web pages as you move out of their website to continue to show you that, hey, we're still here. We still have a solution for you. Come back to us. So, how do you set this up yourself? Well, you get a Facebook pixel, okay, for your personal Facebook page, and then you want to put that pixel into each of your HTML pages headers. Okay? Then, yes? Okay. Facebook pixel. Now, my business partner is actually the Facebook expert on our team. Facebook pixel is a piece of code. It's a JavaScript code, and it's you tell Facebook that you want a pixel so that you can track analytics for the people who are viewing your web page. They give you this little piece of code. They furnish it for you. Yeah. You copy the code. It's text. You put it into the headers of your websites, and then you have a Facebook pixel on your page, and now everybody that goes through your page is now tracked by Facebook. Yeah, that's why they call it a pixel. Through the Facebook Ads Manager, through the Facebook Ads platform. Yep. And you do it through your Facebook page.
Ryan?
Yes.
Yeah, we use these all the time, so when you guys are on Facebook and you see like the Learn More tab or something, and you click on that tab and it takes you to the website, that's what the pixel does, is it tracks you so that they know that they came from that ad. Which
Yeah.
obviously, if you're having someone create ads for you, it's a good way for you guys to tell, is this being effective, spending money on the ad. You can see what ads put out 2 different ads, 2 different pixels, and you can see which ad, people responded to more.
Yeah. Start getting analytics going through your A/B testing. Yeah. Any other questions on that? All right.
What did
So
you say you don't get that?
the Facebook Ads Manager for your Facebook page. Yes.
Brian, does Google do that automatically through your website, or do you need some sort of code to track that?
Now with Google, you can use Google Analytics, which is another piece of code that you can put on your HTML header as well. And I'll discuss that a tiny bit later.
I might be jumping ahead, but do you have the cost effectiveness of the Facebook?
Well, I'm going to get to some campaigns we're running right now to kind of give you an idea of that. Just a minute. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. All right, so once you have a pixel on your page, you want to go to the Ads Manager, and you want to click on the ad template for increasing conversions on your website. Then you want to, once you're in there, you want to select the pixel and set up the ads that you want your past visitors to see. That way, when they go to your website, you'll be able to show them an ad reminding them of your website for as many days as you want after they've been there. Okay. So this is pretty cool. It's very much, it's just like AdWords also in the, with regards to the fact that you don't pay any money to Facebook until somebody clicks on the ad, even after they've seen it. At Typically Lanes, we recommend that you don't, what's the word, haunt anybody, I guess, for more than 3 days after they've been to your website. Maybe stalk. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Stalk. But yeah, it's a very good thing to do to continue to remind them that hey, you're here. You're offering a solution for something that they've already looked for, so you know they're actively looking for solutions. Any questions on that? All right. Remember these? Read them. Especially the bottom 2. Great advertisers always track their dollars and keep score. Now that I've shown you how to advertise online and how to get your REIA doors open, that's exactly what we want to do. We want to keep score. After all, this really is just a big game. And the aim of the game, Google Ads, is to get your ad to show up at the top of the page.